And something that not a lot of people talk about, but not long after WrestleMania 17, because at that WrestleMania, Chyna won the women's title from Ivory, and then she had a kind of short run after that, but you faced her in one of the matches that she had right after that. But there was this kind of like, I don't know, like disconnect of Chyna in the women's division at that point.
Yeah.
How did it feel for you as someone who's, you're in the women's division, you're there, Chyna's the champ, but it doesn't really feel like she's under any danger.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
She doesn't feel like she was any danger?
Yeah.
A lot of danger. She's dangerous. She was.
No, as in like she is not in any danger from
she's
the other
not in it.
from the other women.
No, that was made very clear. It was a weird time. It was during that moment. It was really the women's title kind of became part of the the rise of Chyna in a way, right? It was sort of like she became the women's champion, and then it was ICC after that. She did IC title.
IC was before that.
Was before that. Okay, so then she got okay. History, that's the one. You know the word. You know the chronological order. It was. To be honest, we weren't really looking at it like there was a women's division. It was just kind of Chyna's accessory in a way. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like part of the character's gimmick in a way, which was fine because it worked for her and it was what they were doing. And they had her doing, she did the Playboy and she was doing all that stuff. And it was a big turning. I think she got established for who she was, and then there was the epic feud between her and Ivory, which was really cool.
Did she seem? I mean, when you worked with her, did she seem interested in the women's division?
Not at all. No, she didn't. She didn't. She knew that too. She was a separate entity almost. She was Chyna, and she was just going out there, and I think she just, for so long, right, she just wanted to prove to people that she belonged in the industry. Forget that she's a woman. She belongs in the industry. And she happened to match the men's, stature more than the women's, and so we saw that interest there, and that was really cool, and history making, So, then eventually she left, and the title went away. She took the title with her, and there was no women's division, and suddenly us as women, we were like, well, so what do we do then? Like we're in storylines, but we don't, and we were given a little bit more to work and to show what we could do in the ring, and we'd have the odd matches, but everything culminates to a feud and to, a title. It really is about chasing the title and losing the title and things like that. So we didn't have that, and so there was a bit of a void. It felt like there was something missing, that we didn't have that. And so when they brought it back in 2001, that was really cool. We were like, oh, wow. So we knew that the company was like, okay, we've made a decision. We're going to do this. And when they put together the six-pack challenge, I remember them all coming to us and telling us. And it was like such an exciting time because they were basically like, we're going to take this really serious because we're going to take this. Let's scope the whole company, the roster, and get the 6 strongest females. It turned into a six-pack challenge because they plucked out the women that could work and could put together a match. And there were 6 of us, and we had the match together. And luckily, I became champion that evening. Thank you. But I was the underdog, right? I wasn't the one they expected. I had the least amount of experience. I was the most green, as they say. But for me, I knew that was another turning point in my career. I knew that they were like saying, all right. I mean, they were basically like, here's the ball. Let's see if she can run. And they did that a lot, and they do that. That's what they do. They basically give them those moments, and if you can carry it, you get to keep that ball. So they did that, and they decided to commit to like developing the characters and really like giving us a little bit more television time. But we did have to earn it as well. It wasn't like, okay, major storylines and here's your pay-per-view spot. We had to earn it little by little. And as you know, because you guys came along with us for the journey, it was a long, tough road to get there, to take the puppy chance away and get people going like, holy instead, So it was a long, hard-fought journey at times, but we got there.
And so
I think the women deserved it. We were, and also like from. We did. We worked so hard, and we went through that whole thing where we were called divas, and we weren't allowed to call ourselves WWE superstars because we were like WWE divas. And I was like, dude, we do the same jobs. We do the same road schedule. We're out there doing the same thing. Live events, we're fighting. We're doing, putting our bodies on the line. But we didn't get that acknowledgement. We didn't even, our division wasn't taken serious and things like that. And we weren't given the same, time. so yeah, we knew we could contribute more. I personally knew, and I saw, like, when they started to give us opportunities, I saw the women come out, and I started to see, you know, at my autograph signings, it would used to be just all men, which is great, you know, I get it. But my girls, you know, it was nice to see that we started to see a shift in the autograph signings in our demographic. We saw a rise in the female demographic, and at one point I realized when maybe it was meeting a woman at, you know, one of my signs and saying, "Wow, what you're doing, like a woman in a male-dominated sport, oh my God, that's amazing." And when you put it in perspective, you're like, "Oh my gosh, what we're doing is important, and it can be." And the question I'd get asked is, "Did you always know you wanted to become a wrestler?" I'd say no, because when I was a kid, when I was growing up, there wasn't enough of a presence of women doing anything of importance. You know, there was, of course, moments, but nothing that I could say, that's what I want to do. So, you know, my whole thing goes to, like, if you can see it, you can be it. And so I made it my MO every time I walk through the curtain, is to present something that those little girls and the females watching could really feel and connect with, and somehow see a piece of themselves in. And not to say that they were going to become a wrestler one day, but maybe they saw a female, you know, kicking ass in a male-dominated world. Maybe they're seeing someone, like, fall down, pick themselves up, and dust themselves off, you know? So it became really important for us to do that. And so when Fit Finley, thankfully, was there, and he just gave us the chance to do that, to change the preconceived notion of what a female could do in this business. And it was pretty remarkable to see how much people, and mostly it's you guys that really, you know, there's the whole, you fast forward to the diva, you know, revolution starting from the fans, right? It was the same thing. It was because the fans started to take notice, because our matches were rather under the radar. And in fact, we were told at live events, we would have a match and we'd go back, and many times we'd be like, let's just, instead of like hair pulls and instead of like slaps, let's do chops and punches like the guys, you know? And so we started to do that, and we would get in trouble along the way. We literally would get told, yeah, so the fans don't want to see that from you guys. They don't want to see that. Just go do the... you know, and it was like, but then we just kept doing it. We kept sliding under the radar, and then we just were so under the radar that people they weren't even paying attention to us. We're like, we're just gonna go out here and have a kick-ass match, and just don't mind us, just having a kick-ass match. But then what happened was, I remember there was a little turning point at the live events. They would pull like the first couple rows around the ring, and they'd say, what were your top 3 matches? And Jazz and I were working, and we had kept making the top 3. Like week after week after week, to the point where Vince came to me and told me that was, he says, wow, you guys have been in the top 3 for the last several weeks. And he's like, keep it up. And I was like, oh my God. So we just knew, like, I think we're onto something. And like, you know what? The fans, you guys wanted it. You guys wanted it. And you guys are the ones that encouraged us and kept us going. So thank you. And you guys deserved it as well.
And you know, you win the title at Survivor Series 2001, the Six Pack Challenge, but then fast forward a year and Survivor Series is in Madison Square Garden, and you and Victoria are kicking the shit out of each other in a hardcore match, which would never have happened a year before. Yeah. How did that match come about? Did you guys pitch it? What was the kind of story behind that coming to fruition?
Yeah, that's, we were feeling that the storyline was just, it was lending itself to that. And we were getting so crazy backstage. There was a chair shot, and we were beating each other up backstage. And the story was so intense, which was cool. This was also, I remember there was a little special moment between Fit and Victoria and I think it was that match. We're waiting. That was like the first of this series, or was it? Yeah. So we're backstage, and they played a package for us, and it was like, oh, we got a package. They give us a package because they never gave the women packages. You know, like the video, the B-roll, right? Yeah. It was so nice. So excited. We were so excited. Like, meanwhile, the guy's like, we have a package. What end? Like, of course they do. But it was so exciting. We have arrived. You know, one of those moments. But that, I feel like we were the feud we were culminating to the point where we really we had to go home with something like that, and it was really, we were excited about it. We were like, I don't care, whatever happens, like, we just break my nose, I don't care, do anything, let's just go. And we wanted to go out there and just wow everyone, and yeah, we kicked each other's asses. It was great.
And then you're going on and on and on as this kind of kick-ass babyface, and then you have a romance with Chris Jericho, and it leads to WrestleMania 20, where you turn on him.
I did. And heel Trish was born.
So you'd been a heel initially when you came in, but
Yep.
this was like your kind of big coming out party as a heel. You weren't expecting it to happen, the heel turn.
No, nor were you guys. Nobody was.
But talk about kind of that being put on you that you're going to be turning heel and how you kind of learned to enjoy it.
Well, do you know the story, how it came about?
Well, I mean, I know, but yeah, they would like to know.
Do you know the story? You want to tell it, or do you want?
Yeah, you tell it.
Okay, I tell it way more, like with more energy than Kenny does.
Because you were there.
Because I was there. Yeah, exactly. And I'm better looking. No, sorry, I thought that's what you said. I wasn't saying that. I'm not like vain or anything. You said that. You said I'm better looking. You think I'm
I
prettier
mean, this
than
is
Kenny.
not shocking information that you're better looking than me. This is not.
So wait, so you think I'm prettier than Kenny? Cool, thanks.
Thank you to the people who said no.
But
You're
have,
very nice.
but have you seen the ass on that?
Coming from you, come on. So very quickly, we were in Glasgow.
Why are you turning heel tonight? What's happening? Did I do that? I'm sorry.
We were in Glasgow last night. We were leaving the venue, and there was this woman, this kind of barmaid who isn't a wrestling fan, and she went, "That was great, by the way. It was so good." She was like, I was looking at her going, "Look at the arse on that." And she's older than me.
Why are we including that comment? Oh, she's got such a nice old ass.
I think you've got a great old ass.
Arse. She said arse, didn't she?
She did say
arse. Arse. Is that good? You guys, the Scottish accent I had last night, was it good?
Do you want to try an English? Somebody, I've not got it in my questions, but somebody did ask if you would like to recreate your Money in the Bank English accent. So if you want to, recreate that.
Yeah. What did I say? I did a promo in an accent. What did I do? What did I say? Do we know the words? Ooh, anybody know the words?
I'll show you the cards.
Bollocks. Is that a good word? Is that good? What is this? You think I can see this? I can't.
I'm quite excited, actually.
That's what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, is that your...
No, I'm not.
I'm quite excited.
Listen, I think you're lovely, but you're not my type.
Good for you. I'm quite excited, actually. No, but hold on. Give me better words. Let's talk about other things. Talk to me. Let's just talk. Tell me what you want to talk about. I don't know where I'm from. It's like
I'm Scottish. I'm no help in this scenario for an English accent.
It's like a little bit like a mishmash of dialects, isn't it? It's a bit posh, and then it gets like from the north, right? I think that's about all I've got, actually. Thank you. Thank you so much. Would you like me to do this in an accent? Just my mishmash, kind of a mutt of an accent. Is it good? Or is it? It's. Sir, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to leave. It's okay, though. Just kidding, love. You can stay. It's fine. All right, then. Carry on.
You were in the middle of talking.
What were we talking about?
You turning heel.
Is this a linguist evening with Trish Stratus? All right, we're talking about WrestleMania 20.
Yes, you were going to tell the story because you were there.
We want a long story, short story. Okay, so of course, everyone was very excited. The moment was kind of starting to come with Chris Jericho, Trish Stratus, and it's a really cool thing because when you guys, the crowd, when the WWE Universe, as you guys are called, as we call you, when you guys decide that you want to turn a heel, like Chris Jericho was a heel. Trish Stratus was a baby, but you guys wanted Trish Stratus and Jericho to be together so badly. You organically turned Jericho babyface, which I love when that happens, right? And so the storyline continued. We created story art. It was just such a great story with characters and moments that we just were taking you guys along for the ride, you know? We knew that we were culminating to the point of, ready? Wait for this, ready? Trish-topher, right? How cool would it have been? And Chris and I were super excited. We're both quirky Canadians. You know, we have our sense of humor. And we were looking forward to being sort of presenting something different, right? We're going to be a female and male duo. But we wanted to be like, forget the gender, as a duo would be, say it's Edge and Christian, right? They have banter, they have camaraderie between them. And so we had thought that no male and female had really done that, right? It's either like the valet or there's like that relationship that we're all familiar with. But we thought, let's be a little different and just be like, not that we're going to fight because we couldn't necessarily, but the banter between us would have been this interesting thing. We were really excited about it. So we're working towards it. We know that WrestleMania 20, the big moment for Trish is going to happen. We get to MSG. We're in New York. It's exciting, right? We know the storyline for months we've been planting seeds. We're so smart. We've been doing foreshadowing. We're like, ooh, and then you're gonna look back and be like, oh yeah, that you could tell they're gonna be together because blah blah blah. And then we get there. Vince wants to talk to us, and he's like, so what's gonna happen tonight? Is that you're gonna leave with him? I go, oh sorry, you mean him? And he goes, no, you're gonna leave with him. And I was like, are you mixing up? Because, I know it got a little at the end, but at that point, he was okay. And so, yeah, you know what? He just flipped the script on us. And we were like, oh, no, because the fans want this. They've been expecting this. And then it was like, oh, I just realized why he's changing his mind. And, but it was the best moment. Like, I was a little apprehensive because I'm like, oh, wait, but, when you think you're working towards something and it, changes. But that's what we do in wrestling, right? We pivot. You never know, because, the fans could change the direction, a.k.a. Raw Cody comes to mind. Something like that comes to mind. You pivot, and you have to sometimes listen to the fans, or sometimes you got to listen to your boss. In this case, we had to listen to our boss, and although he was totally right, it was a great idea. For me personally as a character, it was another, we keep talking about these turning points in my career. Look what you've done there. This is another point for me where I was going to become heel Trish, and I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I hadn't been a heel since I've been a beloved babyface for so many years at this point now, and she was kind of my identity, right? This fighting babyface, scrappy fighting babyface. That's what I would call myself, scrappy.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Do you agree?
Sure. Yeah, you're scrappy.
Thank you. Do you think I'm pretty?
I mean, you're barking up the wrong tree, but yes, you are very pretty.
Barking up the wrong tree, am I? I see what you did there. No, you didn't. You meant to, but not really. Subliminal. Boo, he booed you. Don't talk about that storyline. It's rude. So, anyway, that was it.
That's the end.
That's the end.
But you embraced being a heel and you really went for it. Did
Yeah.
that take a long time to come, or was the reaction of the crowd?
Instantly, I was a bitch. I didn't know who I was going to be. I didn't know. I just knew that, I was going to be a little, we always say we're like, especially the characters that really resonate with the fans and you really connect with, and is generally, it's the person is their true authentic self, and of course turned up a few notches. And so when I went out there, I just found who she was. I found my voice, which was sometimes sarcastic, sometimes punny, and there she was, and it was fun. And I mean, working with Chris was great because we gave us good material, and so Chris and I ended up we got to work together. We were thinking we'd be on the same side, but we were against each other, which also worked as well. And it created from some really great TV moments, and really a good point for me, the beginning of some really fun stuff for my career.